Welcome to the MLM Solution Podcast Show, where you'll learn the facts and hear the truth about the network marketing industry. Here's your host, Rob Cootie.
Oh, can't hear you, Rob. Your mic's muted.
There you go. Yeah, Miss Marie, how you doing this morning, afternoon, whatever in the world it is?
I'm doing great, Rob. How are you?
I'm doing fine. What a way to start. Anyway, where we are, we're on podcast number 47. We want to welcome everybody. Today's Tuesday, September 22nd, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, we're doing our daily podcast about all things network marketing, the good, the bad, and yes, even the ugly. As you know, we talk all things network marketing. We don't hide from anything. I don't think anybody else does that, Miss Marie. And I'm proud to say that we are one of the few that make that happen. So that being said, oh, man, I can tell I've been thrown together. Rushing around. My hair's a mess. I threw my shirt on. Today has been a hectic day. Boy, you know, sometimes you're just that close to having catastrophe in your life, you know, and you're outrunning it. You can feel it on your tail. You can feel it breathing down your neck. And today was one of those days. So here I am. And but things are going good, and that's all we can ask at the moment.
Awesome. Well, and here we are as scheduled. Things seem to be working well.
Yes,
We'll just have to see if the gong still works when we start the show.
I know it. Well, we'll just do the best we can, even if it doesn't work. How's that?
Sounds good.
With that being said, today, guys, as you can see on the video, and for those of you on the podcast, today is podcast number 47. Hard to believe that we've been together for 47 episodes, not counting our freelance Fridays, which is probably taking us up in the 52 range. But it's been a pleasurable time. I'll be honest with you, it does not seem like it's been 47 episodes. And it's because I have so much fun and it goes so fast. The hour just flies by.
Yeah, I saw that number pop up today, and I'm like, 47? How is that possible? I feel like we did maybe 12.
Well, I'm not really sure how to take that, but okay. But the thing is that it's been a pleasurable 47, and I hope it's an indication of what is going to transpire as we continue to move forward and grow this channel into all that it can be. You know, our biggest goal, guys, is to take this channel and this information and help transform the industry. We have a passion for this industry, and we want you guys to be empowered with the right information so that you have a legitimate chance at doing something special with it. And it's been a burn of mine for a long time. And to be honest with you, I was lazy for a long time because I had a great life going on. And additionally, I really had no desire to get out there and be traveling, if you will, and get in front of audiences. That just wasn't my thing. But this technology allows me to reach out across the world in a way that I could never do before. So I said, what the heck, let's give it a shot. So today's podcast, even though it's number 47, and I guess we'll have to do something special for number 50. I'm not really sure what we would do, but we'll have to talk about that. We should celebrate episode number 50.
I think it's worth celebrating.
Yeah. We'll have to think of something. Anyway, today's podcast is about peer success pressure. Let me say that's a little bit of a tongue twister. Peer success pressure. All you on the video, you can see it. For all of you on the podcast, you now understand what this episode's about. And that being said, it is, let me just say, add on to it, how not to let your peers' success destroy your own chances for success. If you want to learn how to not let that affect you, you know, somebody you can put a blinder on automatically and just ignore it. That's great. A lot of other people, believe it or not, Miss Marie, seen it happen many a time. People get so caught up in how somebody else passes them by, has greater success sooner. We've touched on that before, and it literally destroys their focus. They can't move forward. They slow down, and next thing you know, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. They sabotage themselves and their success by focusing on the wrong thing. And that's just ridiculous. So we're going to touch on that. If you want to find out how to overcome that, you want to stick around. With that being said, as always, as Miss Marie's so famously said a moment ago, the great gong has to start the show. And there we go. We are officially started. All right. With that being said, before we get started, let me just say that if you will, please like and comment on our various social media platforms. As I said, if you will, please share with our fellow network marketers all across the world our social media platforms, and you can do that with the hashtag the MLM Solution, hashtag the MLM Solution. If you go to our YouTube channel, please hit the little bell twice. That puts you up for notifications when we upload content and when we go live. And if you will, also subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can do that by hitting the subscribe button. I think all of you know that. And as we go along, if you will, please give us a thumbs up. If you like what you hear and you understand the points we're making and you feel it can help us, that's always a big, great feedback moment for us. And as we close this introductory section, please go to mlmsolution.net, the mlmsolution.net/survey if you want to give us feedback more so than the thumbs up, et cetera, et cetera. That way we will respond to you within 24 hours. And if there's any other further correspondence that's necessary, we can do it there as well. That being said, Miss Marie, it's a beautiful day here. It's fall-like. We've had a run. I'm afraid to even say it. It's been like 10 days of absolutely stunning weather. And I am tickled pink that it is like that. Today or yesterday was the official start of fall. I can't remember which one. It may have been yesterday, but regardless, the bottom line is we've had fall-like weather, and it has been stunning. I've been out on the deck with my computer working with my margaritas. So there you go. No beach.
Awesome. Well, we've still got a little bit of summer going on here in Utah. We're still in the 80s, which is actually quite comfortable because we don't have the humidity. But yes, you can feel the cooler weather is starting to come, which I am rather excited about. But then again, you know, it's 2020, and this could be the winter that we have flammable snow, or who knows what's going to happen here.
Absolutely. I don't know what to expect, to be honest with you. Obviously glad when 2020 is over. My gosh, I mean, it's unbelievable. It'll be one that I will soon forget. I'll see, and you pay attention to what I said. I will soon forget. Some people say, it'll be one that'll soon never forget. Well, whatever the bottom line is, I'll leave this year behind quickly. I can promise you that. I normally don't celebrate New Year's, but I will certainly be celebrating the ass end of this one.
Well, I tell you what, I think a lot of people feel the same way. 2020 has certainly had its struggles and its strangeness, but there's a lot of good that's come out of it too, right? I mean, people are rediscovering what's really valuable. People are rediscovering time with family. Family meals are happening that maybe haven't happened for some people ever. And you have to admit, Rob, you and I started this podcast together in 2020. That kind of makes it a good year.
It does. It does. And to be honest with you, I am surprised that I stuck with it, not because I quit on things, but because, you know, it's just you and I, you know, of course, audiences and people visiting and things like that. But I mean, right now it's just you and I talking. And to be honest with you, I didn't know if that would hold my attention. I have a short attention span with some things. If I get bored with it, I'm like, okay, I'm done with that.
Well, it's a good thing I'm so entertaining.
Well, it's that and the fact that I see real promise here. And I've always had a passion to help the industry. I really believe in this industry, and I really believe in the business model. And I just believe that it's stuck. It needs a new wave of leaders and leaders that know what they're doing. I think part of the biggest problem that the industry faces right now and why it's stagnated is because that new wave of leaders have not come along like in the 70s and 80s. The Amway leaders, the New Skin leaders, the Herbalife leaders. I mean, there was a lot of phenomenal leaders in that time frame. But those were people that were entrepreneurial. They weren't afraid to take chances. They were from a different generation. Nowadays, to be honest with you, Miss Marie, most people are lazy. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's a fact that most people do not. They'd rather have a job, where our generation was more entrepreneurial. We were wanting to go out there and take control of our own futures. And that's where a lot of these businesses came from. You look at Microsoft, you look at Apple, you look at Oracle, you look at Nike. A lot of those guys were born and raised in the same time frame that you and I were. Okay, maybe a few years before us, maybe a couple years after, but it was all from that time frame. And not only did you have Amway, Nu Skin, and Herbalife and all them exploding at those moments, Nike was doing the same thing. We could go on and on and on. Microsoft, was just getting going. Apple, and all of these wonderful technological advances were exploding. All of these moments, and the thing is that you and I were fortunate to be around for all that. Well, guess what? A lot of those companies are still around in a major way. Additionally, outside of Facebook and Twitter, the social media platforms, tell me what else has started, Miss Marie.
Well, there's a lot of technology that has come forward. I mean, along the vein that you're talking, I think a lot of technology companies, computers have advanced, interpersonal communication, cable news networks, those types of things, the instantaneous access to information that people have from around the world now is just extraordinary. And I think the fact that we have so many things like right at our fingertips, and the technology has simplified life so much, I sometimes wonder if that hasn't made us a little bit lazier. And if it hasn't impacted our network marketing industry negatively, because there's always been that kind of shady presentation of it's a get rich quick scheme. Like you can come in and it's easy money and you can make a lot of money really fast. And now with, being able to leverage technology, people think they can even get away with not having to interact with other human beings. They can just spam out emails and text messages and those types of things and build a business without actually interacting with people.
Well, in the technology aspect of what you're talking about, Ms. Marie, is a maturation process of Apple and all them. Apple virtually reinvented the cell phone. So the bottom line is that even though you have brought up a great point, a lot of the things that you're talking about were projects that were started in the era that I was talking about, and they matured in what they are today. So, Apple being the first $1 trillion company and blah, blah, blah. And the thing is that those companies still exist and are still expanding technology. And, Facebook wouldn't exist if it wasn't for, of course, the internet, but also Google was kind of a pioneer in many ways, not just they didn't help Facebook, but they helped kind of refine the internet. As much as I hate to say it, I'm not a Google fan, but for what they stand for, but I won't get into that. But the point is that they help with the technological advancement of the tools on the internet and what was possible. And you combine the other software that was out there that helped bring Facebook and other social media platforms into existence with the talents of the individuals, of course. But all of those things came together. Well, Google was started in the late 80s, early 90s. And there again, same time frame that you had Amway exploding and Nu Skin and all that. So my point is, out of the 80s and 70s, 80s, and 90s is the brain trust that really had a profound effect across the world and many things. And if you look today, you look at the cell phones, they're just an extension of what Apple did with the original iPhone. If you look at Google, it has matured into a huge monster that really has too much capabilities and gave birth to a lot of other companies that we're just talking about as well. And all of that started way back then. They just matured into what they are today. There's nothing, I cannot reach out today and say there is a Google that has revolutionized the internet. I cannot reach out there today and say there is a Herbalife that's revolutionized the network marketing industry today. I could go on and on. Really, like I said, they're all an extension. Nike's still what it is. Google still is what it is. et cetera, et cetera. So I don't see that any real technology. Now, I will agree with you in the biofield, things of that nature, a lot of technological advances, no doubt about it. But as far as somebody like you and I that can tap into that, of course, software still makes it possible that you and I could start our own social media company. There is no doubt about that. And you just cross your fingers that it catches on, look at TikTok and all that other stuff. Periscope was hot for a while and it's gone. I mean, anybody hardly ever talks about Periscope. I hear that, what's that other one? I can't think of it right now. It was hot for a while and you don't hear much about it anymore. And the point is that there's always these new social media companies coming and going. Remember when MySpace?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Facebook came along and just destroyed it. So, it's that's always going to happen. But those are the only things that you and I can tap into as far as creating any kind of wealth for ourselves as individual business owners, which is awesome. You and I could be 80 years old and hire experts and create our own little empire. And so with that, enough of that. That was our little spin-off of the day, as we always do. We talk about all other things except business because we have to take a break every once in a while for your mental health and ours as well. All right. Since we solved the world's technological problems with that little insight, we're going to move on to our subject, which is pure success pressure, how it can affect your success as well. And you do not want that to happen. Guys, the only way you're going to be able to keep this from affecting you is really not just putting blinders on, because some people could do that. I can do that. If Miss Maria and I join the same company same day because we know each other and we both agree that this is a great opportunity, she's got her business, I've got mine. Okay, I didn't sponsor her. She didn't sponsor me. We have respect for each other. And we say, hey, we're going to join this business together. We're going to have fun with this. And, we have a little contest. We bet $1 that one of us is going to build a bigger business than the other by so-and-so date. Just a little friendly bet. $1 is a lot of money. So we're going to work our tail ends off to make sure we win that $1. Okay. If Miss Marie blows me out of the water, I'm going to stay focused. Here's why, because understand it's a long game. It's not always a short game. Okay. And she may take off in the first 6 or 8 months and just blow me out of the water. And if I focus on her results, I look at them daily and I say, what in the world's going on? And I start making adjustments to my own business because I've lost faith in myself and the business building practices that I know work. And I've lost faith in them because of her success. I have sabotaged myself mentally. Okay, number one. Number two, which is the most dangerous. Number two, I'm now sabotaging my business building system that I know works because I'm making adjustments to it. Okay. And you know what the variables are? I'm sponsoring people. Okay. And I may not be sponsoring the same type of people that she is. And there's always this thing called lightning in a bottle. There are times you're going to do the same thing over and over and you're going to get different results. Okay. And one of the worst things you can do is immediately prejudge yourself and say, I need to make changes. Okay. Stick with what works. And just because one time it doesn't work the most perfect way doesn't mean that it's not working. There's too many variables in this process for you to self-judge yourself based on someone else's success. And that's the reason why this episode is so important, because you don't want to sabotage yourself mentally more than anything and then start making adjustments, hoping that they're going to catapult you overnight into Marie's stratosphere. Okay. You can't do that. It's the long game. Okay. And you got to stick with that. Miss Marie, I'm sure that you agree with that, because really, to be honest with you, there's not a whole lot that you can veer off of that particular point. I mean, that is what it is.
Well, a lot of people get ensnared by this one when they come into the network marketing industry, because they come in not necessarily knowing exactly how things work, the best system to use, those types of things. They've been told to put together their list of 100 people. They're reaching out to family and friends. They feel like they're doing a lot of work, doing the right things, but not necessarily seeing the success they had hoped for as quickly as they wanted. And meanwhile, they see other people coming into the business and they're being highlighted on the calls or at the meetings because, oh, look, they're rank advancing at a rapid level. And then people start looking at themselves and going, well, what are they doing that I'm not doing? So it may be a system type thing. And the other thing that a lot of people miss is that everybody comes into this business with an entirely different background. Even if it's their first time coming into the business, if they're coming from a sales background, from some other business building type of background, they have a set of skills and abilities that not everybody necessarily has. So if I'm coming into this from a manufacturing job where I go in and I'm, putting widgets together for 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, and someone else is coming in that has perhaps run a restaurant in the past, they have more business building knowledge. They have more interpersonal relational skills going on than I have based on my background. So it's going to take me, coming out of that manufacturing background, a little bit longer to develop those interpersonal skills to really get rolling. Even if we're using the exact same system, it's going to take me a little bit longer to get things in the groove and going and experiencing my own success. And meanwhile, if I'm focusing on other people and seeing that they're having this rapid success, I start doubting myself. And I may not necessarily change anything. I may start thinking that, well, this system just doesn't work for me. I'm not cut out for this kind of adventure or opportunity. And I may stop. I get paralyzed in fear. I may just flat out quit prematurely, not understanding what really is going on, what the difference truly is.
Right. Well, and that's one of the biggest problems that people face, unknowing people, let me rephrase that, when they're going out and building this business and they have this little seed, what you're talking about, this little seed. I don't know if you want to use the word jealousy or peer pressure or whatever you want to call it, that can grow. Look, it's human nature to look at Marie and see her blowing me out of the water, out of the gate. Okay, because we have a dollar bet. That's a lot of money. I gotta fight for that dollar. And she's blowing me out of the water. Okay, it's normal for me to look. What's not normal is for me to obsess over it. Okay, the check every once in a while is normal. Okay, so you got to realize, I want to make sure I don't give you the impression that you can't have a single thought about Marie, because that's not normal. All right. There's a common sense approach to everything in life. And there's one here as well. And that is, every once in a while, because we have a competition, I'm going to look. But what I'm not going to do, because I'm a veteran, I understand, I use common sense, and I know this can be poisonous if I allow this to dominate my thoughts. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to focus on what I know works. Okay. That's the answer to this whole thing. Just stay focused on what you need to do, what you know works. That's the key. And that's the power of the 5 simple steps. As you know, these 5 simple steps are based on the fundamental principles of the business building process. Okay. We say that all the time. They've created success at every level of network marketing. The reason her and I don't hype these things up, because the results speak for themselves. Over the last 60 years, we don't need to hype them up. Okay, we don't use fake testimonials from people that you don't know to endorse these steps. Why? Because once again, the success speaks for itself. So if you have a system like that, you should not even second guess it. It's going to work. So if Marie and I are once again started out together on the same company, I know, and so does she, that I am going to be doing the same steps as she is. And so knowing that, I know that that's equal. I'm not going to allow the poisonous thoughts to dominate me. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, okay, I know I'm using the right steps. I'm going to stay committed to that. And once again, it all comes back to one thing. And what is it? You're dealing with human beings. The only thing I can change is the scale of ambition. I can sit down and say, Rob, are you targeting the right people? Or are you just trying to sign everybody up that you can? Okay, which one is it? That is one area of correction. If I was going to take any kind of corrective action, that is legitimate in this scenario, because I have to sit down and say, okay, everything else is equal. I have the same knowledge, the same talents, the same abilities as she does. I'm using the same system that she is. The only variable in this whole formula is, in fact, the leads. Okay. Now, I could call her up because we're friends, and so be it. And she might laugh at me and hang up. But at the same time, she might say, well, I've been averaging about 7.5. I've been really fortunate. I've caught lightning in a bottle, and it seems like everybody I talk to is really rolling with it. Okay. And she may be delivering her message a whole lot better than I am. Okay. But that's one place I'm not going to change, because I'm not going to ask her, well, what are you saying? Because I know basically what she's saying, because the results speak for itself. She's using some form of that music to the ears message. Okay. She evidently is using it better, or talking to higher quality people. Okay. That's the only variable that you can adjust in a situation like this. Would you not agree?
Well, I would, and another area I would say is the love 'em or leave 'em strategy that you use as well. I could be getting trapped in I'm chasing prospects rather than presenting the information and then moving on. It's like, I feel these prospects are too valuable. I'm spending too much time and energy trying to convince someone that this, business is for them, when in fact it's not a good fit, and I should just be moving on to the next person, so I'm not missing out on that next high quality person. Meanwhile, you're doing the love them and leave them. You present them the information. They're not ready. Maybe they will be later, but you're going to move on. So you're progressing through your prospecting much more rapidly, and you're snapping up all the quality people before I get to them, because I'm stuck back here with, Bobby Joe, thinking since he's a really good car mechanic and has a car shop in town, this business will work for him really well too.
Right. Well, and the other part of this equation is that this is a long game, as I said. And even though we just talked about the variable in what she just said, in the variable of the human aspect of it, knowing that I know what I'm doing, knowing that I'm using the right music to the ears message, because you say, well, Rob, how do you know that? Well, because it's a message I've been using for a long time. So I haven't changed anything in it, and people haven't changed. They still want one of three things: more time, better lifestyle, more money. I mean, that's always going to be, period, for the next 1,000 years. So the thing is that those are things I don't need to change. And this is a long game. I know that. So I'm saying, okay, I got the message down. I'll look at the quality of people that I'm talking to. Maybe I can make adjustments there. And as she just said, I may be focused on one person too long, whatever, and not moving forward, finding the higher quality people. And I'll look at those situations. And if those are good, then at the end of the day, when I sit down and I say, okay, Rob, it looks like you're doing everything right, the facts of my evaluation are going to dictate, Rob, it's a long game. Your turn may come in the second 90-day process, or your one third hasn't really kicked in yet. Okay. And because here's what can happen sometimes. I always we talk about the one third, because it's very important that you not only know about it, but you understand how it works. And one of the things we've not talked about is that if I sponsor 60 people, normally 1/3 of 60 is going to be 18. In other words, 18 people are going to do something from really good, possibly great, to okay out of those 18 people. Okay. So the thing is that 7 to 8 of those 18 are going to do really good to great. And then the remaining 10, 11 will kind of come on later. Well, here's the thing. The 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 in this scenario of 60 people that I sponsored doesn't always end up at 18. Sometimes only 8 people out of the 60 take action. And a lot of times it has to do with the scale of ambition. I did not sign up high quality people that were ready to take action now. Okay. I signed up high quality people, but the key word there is now. Okay. So my initial 1/3 that took action didn't end up being 18 out of the 60 I sponsored, it ended up being 8. So the second 1/3 could be a huge tsunami of activity. In other words, out of the 18 people that are remaining, in other words, I want to make sure I get the numbers in your head right so you can visualize it. I sponsored 60 people, typically 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. It's going to be 18 people out of those 60 that are going to do something right out of the gate. It doesn't always work that way. In this scenario, out of those 60, I'm saying there's only, maybe let's say 3 or 4 that take real serious action. And the rest of those 18 are just sitting there. So I got 13 to 14 people just kind of mulling around. They're doing something, but they're not really doing great activity. Okay. And typically that's because you're not sponsoring high quality people 5 and above on the scale of ambition. But what if I am? In this scenario, I am, because of my experience and knowledge, I am sponsoring people 5 and above. But that doesn't always guarantee they're going to take action right away because life circumstances get in their way. Some of them are not ready. Some of them had something to come up right away. But there again, I've seen it happen. I've had it happen myself. In the second third, you have this tsunami. For whatever reason, all of these remaining 14 people start taking action. Okay. And once again, the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 is going to work on those 14 people as well. So the bottom line is my numbers may be different than hers. She's blowing me out of the water in the first 6 or 8 months. She's sitting in the corner with her margarita or her beer or whatever, laughing her butt off at me. Okay. She's celebrating that dollar she's going to win already. But we both agreed that it would be at the end of the 2 years where that dollar's worth even more. And so we're both striving towards our 2-year goals. Okay. And yes, we have 90-day goals. We always use them. That's how you get your business launched correctly. But the bottom line is we go along and we decide we're going to do a second 90-day mini blast, which is phase 3 of the business building process. If you so choose to use it, that is what will catapult you to the even greater legendary type status. Okay. And in that second mini 90-day mini blast, is where I could really blow Marie out of the water and catch up and maybe surpass her. Okay. So it's a long game and you never know when the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 is going to work. And if it's going to work the way it's supposed to, because you're dealing with human beings and life, it doesn't always do that. So what does Rob have to do? I have to stay mentally tough and say, Rob, this is a 2-year process. I can't get caught up in this first 90-day results. I can't get caught up in the first 6 months results. I have to look at the 2-year mark and I have to work and trust the numbers because the numbers are going to work. It's at the end of the day, the numbers are going to do what they're going to do. There's no denying that. It's not because Rob says so. I don't care what business you go and look at. I don't care what numbers you put together. When it's all said and done, if you do the formulas correct, the numbers come out almost spot on every time because that's what they do. I don't know how to explain it to you in any greater detail than that, but you have to trust that the numbers in network marketing are going to do what they do. Okay. And so these formulas have been around, Miss Marie, since the inception of the business. For the most part. I mean, really, networking started in the late 50s and they really became prominent in the 60s when a number of years went by where they could look back and people that, love numbers began to understand that these trends were happening. And those trends became a formula that they adapted into their business building because they realized there was a trend that happened no matter what. And it happened over and over and over. And now, of course, 60 years later, you and I can trust them like the sun coming up, So that, guys, is the long game of this situation. Rob is not going to allow his intimidation of her success as we go out of the gate to slow me down, to make me go in a corner and suck my thumb and say, well, Miss Marie is one. I'll give her the $1 now. There's no sense in going to 2 years because I've lost. She got out of the gate better. It doesn't work that way.
Well, right. And there's always that compounding effect too, right? You can start out slowly, but once that snowball gets going, once you get towards the back end, it increases so much more rapidly. It's almost like if you were going to, the gold rush back in the, the minor 49ers, whatever, back in the California gold rush. If you went and you were told, if you dig a tunnel 100 miles, you're guaranteed to find $1 million worth of gold. Guarantee it. And you start digging and you start digging and you start digging and you're 57 miles in and you've gotten $5 worth of gold. You're going to be frustrated, right? Yeah. But if you are persistent and you stick with it, you get to mile 85 and you've got $1,000 worth of gold. It's like, but there's supposed to be $1 million here. Well, guess what? It's at mile 95 through 100 that you hit the bulk of that $1 million gold vein.
There you go.
The patience and the work that has to take place to get to that point. And that's where people, they give up too soon.
And that's a great example. I love that example. That epitomizes the point we're making right here. And you guys need to remember that example that she just came up with. And I just noticed that you're not wearing your headset.
I am not.
And you haven't been for a few days.
I have not.
Wow.
Has the sound been okay?
It's been awesome. I don't know what you've done, but it's been awesome.
I made some changes.
That's awesome. You did great.
That was messing up my hair.
Well, there we go. All right. It's awesome.
And I have to just say, for the people on the podcast, if you don't see the video, I have really short hair. So a bad hair day for me. It's just, the hair thing's a total joke.
Well, I'm right there with you.
I don't know, Rob, your hair might be longer than mine.
It might be. It might be. There's times I let it grow pretty dang long. You're right. There's been times I thought I'll just grow a ponytail and go with that. So anyway, I agree with that point that you made 100%. And let me say this too, Miss Marie, because it's something that we don't talk about a lot, and we'll certainly do an episode down the road on this. And it is depth. We have not talked about depth at all. And it's a critical component to the business building process because, look, your stability and most of your money is going to come from depth, okay? We can talk about people that you sponsor all day long, and you think, oh, the money's in the people I sponsor. Well, guess what? No, it's not, okay? Here's the thing. When you are out there building a business, Miss Marie jumps out of the gate, and I'd stay focused. Okay, you know what? I'm going to ignore that. I'm going to put blinders on. I can put blinders on because that's the type of person I am, and I don't let Miss Marie's success intimidate me at all. And I'm in it for the long run. But here's the thing, guys. The one thing I did not bring up, we always talk like our success is dependent upon ourselves. That's not always the case. And look, you have to realize as you continue to focus in on high quality people and sponsor them 5 and above on the scale of ambition, and you're putting together this team, and I always talk about 60 people. I don't want you to get the impression that 60 people is a magical number. There is a threshold of sponsorship number that I do not talk about because it's more of an advanced subject that I don't want to get into, but it's not 60. I can promise you that. But here's the thing. I use it as an example because that's a realistic number that you can do, whether it's in 90 days, whether it's 180 days, whatever. Okay, you don't want to be a grinder and take it out to a year, but the point is that is a realistic number that you can do. Okay, that's only 5 people a month for 1 year. Now, we don't encourage that, but you can do it. Now, here's the thing. If you use our system, you can do it. Let me say that. But here's the thing. Being the professional business builders that we are, we know that most of our money is going to come from depth. Most of our stability is going to come from depth. That's the reason why it's so critical for you to identify and work with leaders as you build your business. And you say, well, what do you mean you're identifying working with leaders? I know we've talked about this a lot, but I'm going to go a little bit deeper here, a little golden nugget moment. Here's the thing. Remember, we talked about 3 leaders in a leg. That stabilizes a leg, and we're not going to get into that. But you know what you're doing? When you identify a leader in your downline and you say, guess what? Sam is really building this thing crazy. And you work with Sam and Sam says, yeah, Rob, that's great. Yeah, I'll work with you, because what you want to do as a leader of your own organization, in other words, Rob being the leader of his own organization, you want to pour gas on Sam's business. And how do you do that? By my reputation, by my success, by going and doing a live event at his location, if I so choose, fly there, drive there, whatever, or doing it for his people online, whatever the case may be, whatever I could do to help. I want to throw gasoline on his business. And you do that by working with them, and you both get together, you talk about a game plan, and you agree on that game plan. You want to use good, proven game plans, but the point is you want to work with Sam. Why? Because you want to drive that leg deep. Why? Because Rob knows there could be a Bill Britt down there. There could be a Dexter Yeager down there. There could be a Richard Call down there, a Jerry Campese. And what I'm doing is I'm working with someone that's willing to work with me to drive their leg deep. And I tell them, if you let me help you, not only will I help your business explode, help it stabilize, but I'll also help your business to hit exponential growth if we'll work together. You got something really good going on here. You want to capitalize on that moment, not only for your own benefit, but always remember the key to success in network marketing is helping other people be bigger than you. And you say, well, what does that mean? You have the mentality, I'm going to help Sam outperform me. And he can do that in this business model. And that's awesome. And you say, well, no, I want to be bigger. No, if you have that mentality, you're missing the point. You make more money by helping other people develop big businesses than you can do on your own. That's the beauty of this business. You have to have that mindset. If you want a superstar legendary business that will change your life pretty much for the rest of your life and maybe outlast you, like Richard Call, I'm sure passed his on to his daughter, Laura. Look at the legacy he left. Look at the people he's touched, not just his own family, but look at all the people across the world where his determination and success affected their lives in a positive manner. Okay? So the bottom line is you have to realize that you are identifying your leaders so you can work with them to drive their businesses deep. And when you do that, guys, not only do you offer your own business stability, you're offering that person's business stability, but you're finding a Bill Britt, someone that will just build a legendary size business. And you will make more money off of remember I told you, you'll make 95% of your money off of 3 legs, 3 to 5. If you build a business, if you sponsor 60 people. Now the numbers work out that way. You can't hold me to the exact numbers. We're dealing with human beings. But when it's all said and done, that's what happens, okay? And it's not going to be the first 3 people you sponsor. It could be the first person you sponsored. It could be the 59th person you sponsored. It could be the 18th person, okay? You never know where the 95% of your income is going to come from. You just know that 3 to 5 legs are going to give you 95%. Why? Because some people are going to take this business more seriously than Rob. Sam may take this business more seriously than Rob. Rob may be sitting on the beach and saying, I'm done. I got the money lifestyle one. I'm done. Sam's like, oh, hell no, I'm going to the moon. I'm not going to stop on this. And he may build a business that I'm jealous of, but that's okay because I got what I want. And what is that? My lifestyle and my income. Okay. Now that's not being selfish. I'm saying that because I had a goal. Okay. I had a financial goal and I get specific. This is what I want. This is the home. This is what the trips I want to take. I get specific because I have to have a clear vision of what I'm shooting for. And once I get to that point, I go, okay, I'm done. All right. I don't want to do this anymore. So the bottom line is that Sam that is where that's what you want is a Sam deep down in a business, right?
Well, and that's the importance of duplication. And I will admit, I think sometimes we do forget to emphasize that, the building the depth of the organization, simply because we tend to focus on our business and the things we can control. But the network marketing model itself is not just about what we do, it's what we're duplicating. Yes. And that's why duplicating those consistent, correct business building activities throughout your organization is so important, because you want to build that depth, working towards the fact that somewhere through your network of contacts, the people coming into your business, they can be 3, 4, 5 times removed from you before you hit that superstar, that rock star, that's
Right.
really going to rocket through the rank advancements and build their business huge, which obviously is going to have the ripple effect on up the organization and stabilize and make your business that successful. So it's very, very important to duplicate correctly, just for that reason.
And, we need to do a show on duplication. And I don't mean like the steps, because we've already done that. I'm talking about the duplication of good and evil. Ms. Marie, the whole premise of this business is duplication, period. Everything you do, you should have at the forefront of your mind, is this duplicatable? Okay. In a bad way as well as a good. And we touched on that lightly in some other episodes, but we really need to do a show on that, because duplication in everything you do in this business. And she's absolutely right. Guys, we talked about the other day, and I'm not going to get into it, but if you have a bad habit, you think, this is no big deal. It can be a cancer that can eat through your business faster than anything you can imagine. And we'll talk about the good and evil of duplication. Probably a good title, because these things come up in our heads as we have these discussions, because the thing is, this industry is so diverse and how would I say? No, well, it has various complexities that are simple. And I know that's an oxymoron in itself. I know. I get that. But it is. Okay. There's all these little intricacies that can be complex, such as the duplication process. But yet the duplication process is so simple if you just keep it that way. That's the reason why we need to do an episode on it, because I'm telling you, there are people that are making mistakes, Miss Marie, even verbally, and don't realize that will get duplicated. And then the next thing you know, they don't understand why all of a sudden that leg is gone, and it was rocking, and all of a sudden within 3 weeks, it's pretty much fizzled out. Okay. So, I don't know if you noticed that.
Oh, is that your lucky horseshoe drink?
No, that's the Derby glass. That's
that's your Derby glass. Gotcha. Okay.
The Derby is famous for the mint julep.
Mint julep. All right, I gotcha.
No, I'm not drinking mint juleps, not yet. Too early in the morning. All right, so the point is, I wanted to bring up the fact that the depth aspect of this is very important in this example, because Miss Marie, once again, got gangbusters out of the gate. She's blowing me out of the water. If I'm not mentally tough, I'll allow that to undermine my own success. I'll go crawl up in a corner and suck my thumb and say, here, take your $1. It's over. There's no way I can catch up. That is not true. Okay. And we just talked about reasons why. We talked about how the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 may have a slingshot effect in Rod's business versus hers. It could be that I'm not sponsoring enough people 5 and above on that scale of ambition. Okay. Rob's not going to panic on making crazy adjustments to a proven business building system because he's intimidated by Marie's success. Okay. I'm going to stay focused because I know what I need to do. I know it works. The only adjustments I can make, as I said, is, of course, if I'm using the music to the ears message wrong, that's certainly, but I know I'm not because I've used it so many times. But the one area is the scale of ambition, the type of people I'm sponsoring. Okay. And another thing, Miss Marie, if I'm not sponsoring as many people as you may come out of the gate lightning in a bottle, and you may sponsor 50, 45 people in your first 40 days, 45 days. You're rocking it, for whatever reason. And a lot of times, Miss Marie, when you have the reputation as a professional business builder and people know that you know what you're doing, if you even mention that you're coming back to the industry, people flock to you. Marie, you're coming back. Okay, I want to work with you. We did great last time. Let's go, and that may be the case there too. So I can't, once again, focus on what Marie's done in the first 6 months. I got to focus on the long game. I'm just rehashing what we talked about. But you have to realize, guys, the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 may be working different in my business versus hers. I may have, in fact, sponsored enough 5 and above people, but the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 has not hit my business yet the way it has hit hers. Okay. And also, where the stretch run, I've already made up my mind because I'm behind that I'm going to do a second 90-day mini blast. Things could change dramatically in that second 90-day mini blast. Okay. Additionally, if I do get that slingshot 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 effect from my first 90-day mini blast, that can combine with my second 90-day mini blast and really just rocket right past her. Okay. And then if my depth starts kicking in other words, I'm fortunate enough to, in fact, sponsor the next Jerry Campese, the next Richard Call, the next in depth. I didn't sponsor them, but the people I sponsored ended up sponsoring someone there. Why? Because I was identifying and working with my leaders the way I was supposed to, the way I was taught. Okay. And the thing is that and now I'm in a situation where I just may blow her out of the water in the last, 6 months, 4 months, where I just catapult to the top of the company in income. Who knows, right? So you have to realize that it's a long game. You cannot get caught up in what's not happening. What you do is control what you can do, and that is consistent, correct business building activity. Okay. So with that being said, Ms. Marie, I think we pretty much made that very clear. I don't think we have anything that we need to elaborate on there. I don't think.
Nope. I was just going to add in that we did do an episode separately on the green-eyed monster of jealousy, which can play a role sometimes as well. But of course, we're not going to reiterate that here. But that would be another episode related to this. If you want more detail, that would be worth checking out.
And that's more jealousy based than it is,
right.
Losing your focus, okay, because of your peer's success. They are two different subject matters, two different episodes, even though she stated they're really related in a lot of ways, but it's a totally different thing. Some people are totally jealous of someone, and the jealousy gets out of control and just really derails them from doing anything positive for themselves. This is not jealousy. This is pressure. I'm feeling the pressure. We have a dollar bet, by golly, and I'm going to win that dollar. And there's pressure here because she's jumping out to a huge, successful run in something that I have not been able to experience yet. Totally different than the green-eyed monster of jealousy.
Yep, absolutely. And for some people, that pressure isn't necessarily a negative thing, because some of us tend to be a little bit competitive, and that just spurs us on, right?
It does. Being an ex-athlete, that's what it does to me. That just gets my juices going. I love competition, so it doesn't bother me in any way. But you're right. That is a good point. And with that being said, I don't think there was a point that came to my mind here a moment ago when I was talking, and being that I'm an old man, it flew out of my ear. I don't know if you saw it, just flew out of my ear and went away. But it was an important point, but I'll remember it. We'll cover it another day. But I think I'm pretty much done, because there's really nothing else to add to what we covered this subject very clearly, very thoroughly, and gave a great example, I think, and summarized it well. So I think we covered it the way it should be.
Well, absolutely. And I tell you what, if we did miss anything on our social media platforms, we always ask that you like, comment, share. You also have the ability to ask us questions there. Drop us a comment. Let us know. It's like, hey, you talked about this, that, but what about X?
Oh, yeah.
It's possible that we missed something. And of course, we'll find a way to address that for you. We may build a whole nother episode around it, or we will just reply to you directly and make sure you get that answer, because it's what we're here to do. We're here to serve, to bring value, to help you be successful in your network marketing business. And of course, by sharing this information, you're helping to duplicate that information, that success system throughout your organization. And as you help your organization become successful, that builds your success. Again, that's the duplication, and that's what this network marketing business is all about.
That's right. Absolutely. And I do, I do remember what it's about, what the point I was going to make as we close. As we talk about, Miss Marie, identifying, working with leaders, and I always say, and it is the essence of the business. The whole premise of the business is duplication. The essence of the business is finding and as many leaders as you can. You want to have as many leaders in your business as you possibly can. Okay. And you got to realize, guys, that this whole thing that we're talking about, the processes, we talk about the 4 phases, we talk about the 5 simple steps. You know what all that's designed to do? It is a sifting process, Miss Marie. It's no different than emptying out your litter box, your cat litter box. It's a terrible example, I guess, but you know what? You use that tool that sifts out the bad from the good, right? When you're cleaning out a litter box. Guys, it's nothing more, and it's a terrible example, but I couldn't think of anything else at the point.
We could go with panning for gold instead.
I know, panning for gold, that'll work too. Better example. There we go. Thank you for the help. I am a man. So the point is, it's all a sifting process. And what is the purpose of the sifting process? The 5 simple steps, the scale of ambition, all of that is a sifting process to do what? Find and identify leaders. And the whole purpose of that is to work with them. You're sifting through people. You're saying, who is serious? Who wants this? Who wants what I want? And there will be a certain amount of people, a third of them, that will raise their hand. And those are the people that identify themselves through their activity, not because they physically raise their hand. When you log into your back office, and we'll have an episode about that down the road, you work with people that want what you want. That's the whole reason you do the steps we teach. It's a process. The whole process is designed to find those people. And I just wanted to clarify, because this is a very important point that's related to what we're talking about. The whole thing that you and I talked about, the race to the 2-year mark for that dollar, is based on who ends up having more leaders. Okay, that's what it boils down to. Okay, and the reason the scale of ambition is so important, because you're sponsoring higher quality people that will take action. And if she sponsors more high quality people, 5 and above, she's going to win the race even at the 2-year mark. Okay, because if I sponsor 60 and she ends up sponsoring 90, the numbers are in her favor. I can't beat those odds. Okay, I'd have to have a super explosion in 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 in my 60 to catch up with her 90, because I can't beat those numbers. She's working with the numbers. I'm not. Those numbers are going to work against me. Okay. And why? Because she's going to have more leaders. Okay. That's the whole purpose. She gets it. Okay. And she may have done that in her second 90-day mini blast. And if I was lazy and didn't do a second 90-day mini blast, she's going to blow me out of the water, because my numbers are not, there's no way my measly 60 numbers are going to beat her 90 or 120 numbers. It's just not possible if she's sponsoring 5 and above.
Yep, absolutely. I think that's a great point to make.
It left me. I know you saw it flat out of my ear, but it came back. It was a
I'm glad
homing
it came back, because everybody was going to be like, well, which episode is it going to show up in?
It was a homing pigeon that came back. Oh, poor Rob's. He's having trouble. Let's go back, guys. We got to help him. So, all right. So with that, Miss Marie, I think we're done. If you don't mind, I did the opening. If you'll do the close, I know we're doing it double here, but we need to keep this in front of people. And also, just to let everybody know, we give you guys updates. The website is really, really, really close, man. I'm telling you, I'm so close. I'm about to fall off the edge. I sent some more to Miss Marie last night. These are some of the final documents that we are going to share with you guys. And so we're making sure. I just found a few boo-boos this morning on them, Miss Marie, and corrected those. And so they're, after your approval, they're pretty much ready to go. And I put together the quote unquote packages of information so that they have folders. The folders have all that information that we want to share with people. And so I put those together this morning as well. So we're right there.
Yeah, and if you want to see what it is Rob's talking about, visit us on the internet, themlmsolution.net. That's themlmsolution.net. I think you will be quite impressed by the amount of information that's available there. And of course, as always, if you will please like, comment, share on our various social media platforms. If you are looking for us on any of those platforms, you can find us using hashtag #TheMLMSolution. That's hashtag #TheMLMSolution. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You want to get those notifications, click on that bell so you know when we're going live, or at least have an indication of when there's some new material there available for you to view. And of course, as always, we appreciate you being here. We look forward to visiting with you again tomorrow. I think the topic we have going on tomorrow, Rob's how to be a focused and motivated business building machine, is it not?
Yes, it is.
That is going to be a good one. So be sure to join us Wednesday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. Same bat time, same bat channel.
That's right. That's right. All right, guys, we're going to hop off of here. It's been a pleasure as always. We have fun doing this, and we thank you guys for all, because it's not possible without you guys. Your interaction, you following us, you sharing us. I continue to see impressive numbers, and I'm very grateful. I was checking some numbers on Facebook this morning, Miss Marie, and it was very impressive and flattering all at the same time. And I was checking, I had a chance to glance at the YouTube channel, and I did see some positive stuff there as well. So this is good news, and I'm continuing to race towards the finish line, if you will, so that we can really expand our impact across the world. But we're making real headway, which is awesome.
Exciting stuff on the horizon. I can't wait.
I know it. I agree. All righty, guys. We'll see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. You take care. God bless, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to the MLM Solution Podcast. For more info, visit our website, themlmsolution.net. Please follow us on the following platforms: Facebook, YouTube, etc. And share this podcast with our fellow network marketers around the world by hitting the share button on our various platforms.